She replaced me, she ain't me. You seen the long run. Get crazy, get shady. Look at the fool that you made me. See the grass looking greener, but won't cut yours cause you lazy. I done did all my crying, so there's no need. Kings and queens, what's happening? Welcome back to my channel. And I'm back with another one, another video. Another video. What's up, y'all? I know it's been a while. I know I'm slacking. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I've been kind of like slacking on the creativity because I'm like, sometimes I be needing ideas because I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do a video about. Sometimes I don't know what to talk about. And I be asking y'all for topics because I really be needing help sometimes. And, you know, God's like, woke me up this morning like, you need to get on it. Get with it. You ain't posted a video in a while. This is, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get with it. So anyways, I had to think about it. I said, look, I gotta push. So we'll figure it out. So y'all, today I will get into the topic. As you can see, the title. But before we get into it, I'm going to tell you the story. So that way we can just kind of flow into what we're about to talk about. Make sure, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. If you are new to my channel, if you have just started coming, if you just came today, welcome on in. Make sure you subscribe because we have a lot more coming. And I have another channel that I do as well. So make sure you subscribe to my other channel, Life with Nefertiti. Okay, so look. Let me tell you a little story before we get into this. There's a woman, and she has about 7 children. She's single. She's a single mom. She don't have any, you know, she don't have a husband or nothing like that. She's by herself. And so growing up, when she grew up, she was poor. Like her mother had like 12 children, and they didn't have a lot of money. Like when I tell you poor, there was times where they had to go work themselves. When they were kids, they had to go work for quarters and dimes. They had to sometimes dig in the trash to get certain things, and sometimes they didn't have food. Like when I tell you poor, they didn't have it like that, and that's just how it was. There was a lot of kids, and her mom didn't have the money to take care of everyone the way that she wanted to. Okay, so being that she was poor growing up, she made sure that as an adult she worked real hard. She made sure that she made all her kids have everything that they needed. They may have not had everything they wanted when they wanted, but she tried her best to give them close to what they wanted when she could. Okay, so mind you, I told you before, she has 7 kids, and she has a youngest son, and her son's about 11 years old. And so his birthday's coming up or whatever, and so, you know, he shows his mom, like, look, Ma, this is the bike that I want. So, you know, this bike is exquisite. You know, this bike is nice. You know, sometimes, you know, when it be real nice, that means it's going to cost some money. So, the bike is mad nice. Like, you know, it got designs on it, and, you know, the rims is all nice, and it got suede seats, and just the best bike that any little boy could ever want. The only thing is, it was too much money. And it was just too much money for his mom to afford. And so she's like, okay, well, do you see anything else that you want besides this bike? Is this the only thing that you want? Or, you know, he like, no, Mom, this is the one I want. So he like, no, Mom, this is the bike that I want. So, you know, as a parent, sometimes you feel that pressure. Like, even though you know you don't have it like that, you want to try your best to get your kids what they ask for. Because you just want them to have more than you had. And I understand that. And I do. I really get that. But, you know, sometimes you just don't have it like that, especially when you have lots of kids. So, you know, Mama's looking. Like, first of all, she's working doubles because she really wants to get her baby this bike. But she knows that she can't afford to be spending $400 or $500 on just one bike because she got too many kids. So she's looking around. Maybe she's trying to find an alternative. Maybe she could find another bike that's similar to this bike. So she's asking her friends. She's looking around at stores. She's looking online, you know. So finally, she finds a bike, you know, she finds a bike online, but it's not the bike that he wanted, but it's kind of similar, but not exactly to what he wanted. You know, it had the chrome rims, it had, you know, different type of designs. She even got his name on it, okay? She even got his name on it for, you know, so she's like, okay, he's going to love this bike. Yeah, it's not the bike that he wants, but he's going to love this bike. So, you know, time rolls around, his birthday's coming up. She has a little party for him. She pulls out the bike, like, she's Mama's geek because she's like, I did a good job. I worked overtime. I'm looking around. I got his name on this. There's no way he's not going to like this bike. Facts. So anyways, the birthday party is going on. Mama goes to get the bike. You know, she brings the bike out to him. She's excited. She's happy. She hopes, you know what I'm saying? She's thinking he's going to be happy too. So she brings it out and he's like, what? That's not the bike that I asked for. That's not the bike that I wanted. And sometimes y'all know, like, the younger kids don't be always understanding, like, you don't have it like that. They don't be always getting it. They don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's 11, but like I said, he doesn't have to need for nothing. His mom makes sure he has everything that he needs, but, you know, he don't know what it's like to not have. He don't know what it's like. Even though they're not the richest, but mama makes sure they cool, so he don't know what it's like to not have anything. So he like, that's not the bike that I wanted. I didn't want that bike. And she's like, well, I know it's not the bike that you wanted, but I didn't have it to be able to get the same exact bike. I don't have enough money to spend on that one bike because I still have your other siblings to do for it. And mama don't get food stamps, so she got to pay for the food. She got to pay for the kids and gas and all that. So she just didn't have it in bills. And so she's like, but I got your name on it. You don't like the bike? He's like, no, I don't want this bike. That's not the bike I wanted. It's not the bike I asked for. So homeboy did not ride his bike. He did not ride his bike for like 2 weeks. So 2 weeks go on. His life is about to change in about 2 weeks. So 2 weeks fast forward, right? So mama's like, okay, other kids, they're older, so they stay home. She takes the youngest one with her. She goes to go visit her mom, where they used to live at. Mind you, remember, she didn't have much money back in, when she was younger, where her mom lived at. So her mom no longer live in the poverty area that she lived in, but her friends, she still has some friends that lived in them areas. And so she visits her mom or whatever, and then she goes to go visit her friends. And so when she visits her friends, she's like, I'm visiting my friends or whatever, so the little boy's with her, and he sees other kids playing. And mind you, where she's at, I told you she had to pick garbage out the garbage can sometimes. She had to work for dimes and quarters and stuff like that. So, it's a poverty area. So she's visiting her friends, and he sees the kids playing, and he's like, oh, when kids see other kids playing, they want to play too. So he sees that they're digging in the trash, and he's like, what are they digging in the trash for? So he goes over it a little bit. He didn't really walk completely over. He just walks over a little bit just to see what's going on, and he sees kids pulling like tires, like wheels out of the trash, and try to pull different things, like different parts to like bikes and stuff out of the trash. And he's like, what are they doing? But what they were doing was they were trying to make their own bike, right? And so he's watching for a while, and they succeeded. Like, they made the bike or whatever, and they were so happy that they were able to make their own bike. Like, they were geeked that they was able to make their own bike. So he's looking at them like, dang, why are they pulling out the trash? And he sees how happy they were just to have this bike that they made themselves. And they're all sharing a bike, and they're all riding a bike, and they're just geeked, and they're pushing each other, and they're having such a good time. And it was at that moment when he realized, wow, these kids don't even have half the stuff I have. Their clothes are like dirty, and their clothes are a little bit ripped up, and they're just happy. And I have nice clothes, and my mom, I have shoes, and I have stuff, and they're just happy to be able to make a bike, to be able to have a bike in general. They don't care about the design. They don't care about the chrome rims. They don't care about what it looks like. They're just happy to have something to ride. It was at that moment that he realized, man, I'm ungrateful. He understood what it meant to be ungrateful. And so, being that he recognized that, when he went home, honey, you better believe that he rode that bike, and he rode that bike till the wheels fell off, and that taught him a lesson. And see, mama didn't even realize that she was teaching him something. All she did was take him to go visit her people. And when he realized, hey, I could have it way worse than this. I could be poor just like them. I could be digging in trash just like them, but I'm not. My mom has a roof over my head. I have clothes on my back. I got food in my mouth every single day. I got shoes on my feet. And I may have not gotten the bike that I wanted, but I got one. The lesson for today is be grateful. Okay? I'm not going to ponder on it too long because the story already took up a lot of time. But we have to be grateful for what we have now. I know, listen, there's nothing wrong with working for wanting more. There's nothing wrong with striving for better. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we forget to be grateful for what we already have right now. We forget to be grateful for the parents that we have. We forget to be grateful for the children that we have. We forget to be grateful for the clothes that we have, the food that we are eating. We forget to be grateful because we don't realize that there is so many people who would love to have what you have. Some of y'all may just have a regular life. Some of y'all may not be rich, but you're not poor either. You get the things that you want, maybe not all the time, but you get them when you want, whenever you can. You know what I'm saying? But you still have stuff. You still have plenty. There are people who don't have half the stuff that you have. And if they were to come in your house right now, they probably would think that you're rich. There's people who are digging in trashes. There are people who they have nothing but hand-me-downs that don't get nothing new, but they're grateful for hand-me-downs. There are people who are on these streets and don't have no home. They don't have no clothes. They don't have no shoes. And we're sitting here complaining about things that ain't right, or complaining about things that are not the way that we want them to be. Sometimes we need to slow down and just realize how good that we really do have it. Like I said, you may not have everything that you want at this moment, but be grateful for the things that you do have. And you have to really think about what you do have. Think about it. Do you have your eyesight still? Be grateful. Can you hear still? Be grateful. Are you still able to walk? Be grateful. Can you move your hands? Be grateful. There's people who are on their deathbed. There's people who have been in a hospital for years and who have not left that bed, but look outside in the window and they want to go outside so bad, but they can't move their body. But their mind's working, but they can't move their body. Be grateful for the things that you have. Be grateful for the fact that you do have a car. It may not be a brand new car. It may not be the car that you want, but at least you have a car. Be grateful for the fact that you have parents. There are some people who don't have no parents. There's people who lost their parents. Be grateful for what you have. There's nothing, like I said before, there's nothing wrong with striving for better. I'm not saying to be content. There's a difference between being content and being grateful. Being content is like, okay, I'm cool with what I got right now. I'm cool with my life. I don't want nothing more than this. I don't want nothing less than this. I don't need to like strive for anymore. I like how I'm going. I like to work this 9 to 5. I like to come home, chill with the family. That's all I want for my life. Sometimes that's all people want. They're content. But being grateful is like, okay, I am happy that I have the things that I have. I'm grateful. I'm cool with it. Like, it may not be what I want right now, but I'm cool with what I have. Okay? And I'm not unhappy that I don't have it. You know, so many times we focus on what we don't have that we don't realize what we do have. And that is a problem. When you focus on your problems, then you don't get to see the light of the good things that's really going on in your life. If you're only focused on the negativity in your world, only focused on everything that you don't have, you're not going to realize and recognize the things that you do have. I'm not sure about y'all, but there's a lot of things that I pray for in my life. And there's a lot of prayers that God has answered. And so it's like, I sometimes don't even realize that he answered them because I prayed such a long time ago. And it's like, if I sit and think like, dang, the life I have right now, I prayed for this. I didn't even realize. But I've been praying for this. Lord, help me with this, or Lord, help me with that, whatever the case may be. But sometimes I'll be so focused on what I don't have, I don't realize what I do have. And that can go for anything. That can go for material. That can go for relationships. So my lesson for you today is be grateful for what you have. Understand that you can have everything today and lose it all today. I was about to say tomorrow, but no, you can lose it all today. You can have everything in the world today. You can have your house. You can have your cars. You can have the girls. You can have the money. You can have the men. You can have everything that you possibly want, and you can still lose it today. Be grateful. Be humble. Know that you may have it all, but you can be in a person's shoes that don't have nothing. I've talked to people on the streets who have been rich, honey. I'm talking about money. They're poor right now, living on the streets, but they have been rich. They've had it all, and they have nothing. So let's not always look at the problem. Sometimes look at, wow, you know what? Yeah, I may not be right here right now, but I'm grateful that I'm where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I may not have all the shoes that I want. They may not be every color, but at least I have more than one pair of shoes. At least I don't have no holes in my shoes. At least I don't have no holes in my clothes. At least I don't have to go dig in the garbage. And for the people who dig in the garbage, they're grateful because they just happy to have something. Be grateful. And if it's hard for you to be grateful, man, you're going to have to take yourself. Maybe you need to watch some movies where people don't have much. Maybe you need to go to an area that's a little bit more poverty so you can see how good you really have it. Let me tell you something. Growing up was real tough for us. And I'm sure it was tough for y'all too. Everyone has things they've been through. But it was tough for us because we went through a lot, but we also dealt with poverty. We've dealt with being homeless. We've dealt with not having water. We've dealt with not having heat. We've dealt with not having lights. Like, this was normal for us. We learned how to survive. But most importantly, we learned how to be grateful. So it's just like, y'all don't know what these people go through out here Please be grateful. Don't be too hard on your parents, because sometimes your parents are working real hard to do the best that they can for you. And sometimes your parents aren't working real hard to do the best that they can for you. And when in them type of cases, if your parents ain't trying to help you out, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You have to work yourself. Maybe you have to go shovel some snow. Maybe you have to go cut some grass. Maybe you have to babysit. But sometimes you do have to make it on your own. And that's a part of life. But I just want y'all to know that there are things in your life to be grateful for. And please try to focus on what you do have and not on what you don't have. So I hope that helped. I hope that somebody got something out of that. I hope that some of y'all learned a lesson from this. And maybe y'all already knew to be grateful, but you just forgot. And you just needed a little reminder. I'm here to remind you, sisters and brothers, be grateful. Be humble. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Hey, if it's on your heart, please share this video, because you never know who needs to hear it. Stay tuned. Love you guys.